Now, if you type into Google, what is South America for, you get answers just like this. All kinds of music, pretty girls, jungle, exotic landscapes and animals like piranhas, the Amazon River, waterfalls, typical food, revolutions, and penguins. Now, we in the football world know that South America is famous for a lot more than penguins, and us in the FM community, especially the Football Manager world, we know South America is very famous for something indeed. Yes, my name is Omega Luke. Welcome to the FM Scout YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be showing you 10 Wonderkids from the updated version of the game from South America. This is based in South America too, so the likes of Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo won't be on the list because they are at Real Madrid. They're not based in South America where you would probably find it easier to pick them up. So before we go into this, I have 10 more as well. Let me know down in the comments if you want the second list. I know a lot of the time I say, do you want the second list? And then you say yes, and then the views are, whew. If you want it, let me know down in the comments and I'll bring you the other 10. There's no difference in how good they are because of the potential ability. Remember, potential ability, and I'll pop it up on the screen over there. Potential ability varies from save to save. Your player might be a lot better than my player. My player might be a lot better than your player because there's no fixed potential in these games for under 20 years of age. Now, let's head to South America with our first player, shall we? We start off in Colombia with Wilker Farniez, probably getting that up wrong. He is a Venezuelan goalkeeper at just 20 years of age. He has very good fundamental attributes to be a goalkeeper, and I should have told you at the start that we're going to go 5 years into the future at the end. Once I've shown you all 10, we're going to have a look at each player individually, how they've done after 5 years in the future. That is probably what I should have said at the start. Now, he's only valued at 875k. You shouldn't have to spend that much money for this man. South America's not really known for its goalkeepers. However, on the two lists that I have two of them. So, there you go. Next on the list, we have Lucas Orellano, and this man is from Velez, one of my favourite teams to look for regens and Wonderkids, for instance. He is just 18 years old. Good valuation, 900k. You can probably spend a couple of mil to pick this man up. Plays on both wings. Ignoring the bad technical abilities to begin with, this guy does grow. He has very good potential. Else, he just wouldn't be on the list. Good work rate. Fairly good determination. That's what will get him there. And next on the list, we have Lazaro. And this guy's been spoken about quite a lot recently in the recent update from Flamengo in the under-20s. You can pick him up straight away, I think, because he's not attached to a contract. He's only got a youth contract. I'm unemployed, so I can't actually show you. Not in real life. I'm all good. £48,000, 5'9". Already insane attributes, as you can see. I mean, the determination's quite low, but on your save, it might be higher. Potential, remember, potential ability, it fluctuates. But I've seen this guy turn into an absolute beast in the future, and we'll see just that in 5 years' time at the end of the video. Now, when you've seen that I was going to be doing a South American, based in South American list, you probably knew this guy was going to be on it, so I won't bark on about him too much. Thiago Almeida, I've signed him many a times on the last two Football Managers. He's very good. 2.5 million. I've usually picked him up for less than 4 million at times. 17 years old from Velez once again, and you should see what he turns out like in the future. He is a monster of a player. We detour though off to Uruguay with Juan Manuel Gutierrez, and this guy, I think I've never really heard people speak about him, and I'm quite surprised with how good he actually is. Just 16 years of age. How good does he look already? Very good acceleration, decent pace. As a striker, I'm wondering whether he grows into more of a preferred winger with that decent flair. The dribbling and first touch already quite good. The pace and agility. With having 14 finishing, if that doesn't rise to 17, 18, I'd be looking to stick this guy on the wing and just seeing what damage he can really do out there. He's both footed, to be fair. Fairly strong left foot, very strong right foot. Stick him on the left-hand side, I think, and he could be an absolute monster for you. How many times am I going to say monster? That is a word I need to avoid for the rest of this episode. Not guaranteeing it, though. And that is because of this monster. No, I'm joking. Pedrinho, though, is an absolute insanely good player at the start of the game. Like, we are in 2018 because I've done the actual Brazilian calendar, and this guy is amazing already for his attributes. 20 years of age, 16 dribbling, 16 first touch, acceleration and agility is very good. Alright, he can't jump, but hey, he's a winger. You don't really need him to do that. He's 20 years old though, so he has less time to grow. But when he does, monster. Joking. We go back to Argentina though with Racing Club Matías Zaracho, and a very well-rounded player to say the least. This guy I'd see would be a very good box-to-box midfielder with his very good dribbling and finishing, first touch. Not to mention he has fantastic mental attributes for the age of 20. Valued at 3 million, he's wanted by a few clubs already, as you can see. Some weird clubs as well. But this guy, I think, very good at the start of the game. I wonder what he's like in the future. You've probably noticed we're going to fluctuate quite often between Argentina and Brazil, with a sprinkle of a few other South American countries. But we go back to Brazil anyway, back to Corinthians in fact, with Mateus Vital. And this guy, very well-rounded attacking midfielder player, 20 years of age again, 4.5 million, 5'9". Let me know down in the comments what you think of this man, because I don't really hear a lot of people talking about him. And the penultimate guy on this list is a very impressive attacking midfielder, which I really like the look of. Jean-Pierre. Fantastic name too. Brazilian, 6'2", 20 years of age at Grêmio. And he is already looking like a first team player at the lower end of the Premier League, I reckon, at 20 years old. From Grêmio, I think you can pick him up for quite cheap. Not like too extortionate, but the valuation that you can probably get back when this guy grows and reaches his full potential, if you can get him to his full potential, I think will be worth it in the long run. And he can play in a multitude of positions if you want to pull him back, if you don't necessarily play a cam role. He can definitely do that, maybe play a box-to-box midfielder or a deep line playmaker. I think he can do it all. And we end the first 10 of this list with Kyle George. He is the poster boy on this thumbnail, and for good reason. 16 years old at Santos, 190k he is worth. Already very good finishing. His determination on my save, 16, so very good indeed. He plays as a striker and he's 6 foot at a very young age. That's good for me. I like that. It comes across when I've used or seen Kyle George on the last 2 Football Managers as a very good, like a deep line forward or a complete forward. Maybe not like the poacher type or the advanced forward, because he doesn't have like blistering pace. He's sort of like a Diego Costa mould. I see him anyway, because he has very good strength. If you think he's 16 years old, he has 13 strength already. He can do quite good things while holding up the ball, I feel, while looking at his attributes as he is. But if we go forward in the future, how does he turn out? Luke, show us, please. You don't have to ask me twice. Let's take a look, shall we? So we started off with the goalkeeper. It's only right that we do that again. He is now finding himself at Al Ittihad, which I'm guessing is Saudi Arabia. And he's produced quite good attributes in the end. I mean, he hasn't grown to what you are normally seeing with a goalkeeper with only 12 handling. I don't think his development, I don't think he has developed as well as he potentially could. Because this is all done, by the way, through, like, we know what their potential is. Like, this is not just me going, oh, he looks good, and then finding out later that he actually isn't. We've actually done our research here. These are the top 20, if you will, based players on potential in South America, based in South America. This is the top 20, very fluctuating between the potential ability, which is why we don't necessarily have a top 10 or a top 20. It's just 20 players across. I feel like every time I see this man, I start to waffle about something which has got nothing to do with the man himself on the screen. But I'm sorry, Wilker Faranez. Moving on then to Orlando, and he finds himself in Europe at Atletico Madrid. So he's got a very good career ahead of him. 24 years of age now. He's valued at £51 million. A very good Argentinian winger. Those physicals are extremely good, to say the least. Mental attributes are getting there as well. His technical abilities sort of let him down to be the elite player that I think he could potentially be. But they are considering him actually an elite winger. I mean, we'll have a look at his stats so far. He signed from Palmeiras after signing to Palmeiras for 8 million. He signed to Atletico for 21 million in this save, and he managed to do 11 goals and 8 assists in his first season. So he's doing really well, to be fair. And in 6 appearances here, because I've come back in September, because why not? 2 goals and 3 assists. He's got a very good career ahead of him by the looks of it, and he's performing a lot better than what his attributes would suggest, I'm guessing. Now, the man from Flamengo never left Brazil. He's fluctuated between different clubs, though, and I'm shocked he's never left Brazil, to be honest, because he looks amazing. I mean, he's even better than the last guy. His technical attributes, indeed, very, very much so better. 17 dribbling, 15 first touch. Those mental attributes are very good for a striker or a winger, to be honest. I think I would play this man as a winger, as an inside forward. I think that's probably where I'd suggest playing him instead of as a striker. He's only 5'9", maybe a tricky winger. He's got a lot of flair, I suppose, as well, so maybe that's where I would play him. But that's down to you, what you consider to be good with your tactic, I suppose. But he's doing quite well in his career. Some good 7 performances there, 16 goals for Mineiro in Serie A, which is the Brazilian top league there. Only went for 180k to Ponte Preta, and they made 9 million out of him, so that's good for them. The big man on campus, though, Thiago Almeida, finds himself at Borussia Dortmund, and look how good he is. In that cam role, I think he's one of the best in the world now. So an elite attacking midfielder indeed. There's not really any downsides, to be honest. He can't jump that high, but he doesn't really need to. He's playing in the hole, and he's probably doing amazing stuff there. He has just signed for Borussia Dortmund for free. He's had one game, 2 assists in the Bundesliga. An insane career at Velez, where in one season, he contributed the same amount of goals as he played games in the Argentinian Premier Division. So, very good player. Pedrinho, who I think is the oldest man on this list. He is still at Corinthians, and I am shocked again. But although I suppose I only have Brazil loaded, maybe if you had some more European countries loaded, these guys would probably leave and actually probably get better. But you want to simulate 5 years in the future, you can't have too many leagues loaded. Pedrinho, however, he has come on quite well, I think. Some really tasty technical attributes there. That 18 dribbling and 18 technique. Very nice indeed. A couple of bits of mental attributes. Maybe let him down, but not where you really need them, like bravery, maybe, but aggression and leadership, not necessarily needed for a winger, but a little bit higher work rate would be nice, but outside of that, I think he's a very good player, Pedrinho. If you haven't realised already, we're going in order. Juan Manuel Gutierrez it's now gone to Corinthians as well, so, I mean, Corinthians keep popping up in this save. Flamengo, he also played there too, and he had a very good outcome in Flamengo as well. So he has come on quite nicely as a striker, 22 years of age. He's actually turned out to be a rather good striker for this division. Mental attributes really are the letdown though for this man, the Uruguayan. And if we do have a look, how much did they buy him for? Wow, 12 million. They spent a lot of money on this man. They are counting on him. He's had half a good season. Maybe he's had a lot of injuries. I don't necessarily know. In a major one there, 5 weeks. No, I just don't think he's been played that much, which is it's quite a shame really, because he could have come on to be something even more special than what he actually is. Free transfer from Danubio. So, I mean, you might be able to pick this guy up as well and be an absolute bargain. I mean, it goes without saying that you probably have to load up South America in some sort to see a lot of these players. Maybe some of them will appear with like a medium database, but you might have to load up some. But here is Matthias Zoracho, one of the guys who I think you might actually have to load up. He's 26 now. His mental attributes are very good, but his technicals just never really seem to have done anything. Doesn't really seem to have done anything at all. He's valued now at 11.25 million, but I think that might be because he has had a transfer a long time ago of 5.25 million. He's applying his trade now in China, and he's not actually doing that bad. He's consistently put in sevens, but he was just never played. Well, I suppose that was the first season. So he has played quite a lot, to be fair. He's just never really grown and developed what I thought he would have. But again, this is not us guessing. They have high potentials. If they don't reach it, it's something to do in-game. Whether they're not being played, whether the training facilities aren't great, or the coaching facilities aren't great. Some players just do not reach their potential. It's down to you to make sure that they do. So we have 3 Brazilians left for you. One of them came from Corinthians. He is now applying his trade in Portugal, though, for FC Porto, and he's doing rather well indeed. Matthias Vital, who I've never really heard much of, he's valued at £40 million. The mental attributes are very good. Physicals are acceptable for, I suppose, the standard he's playing at. European football, potentially. Technical attributes aren't incredible, but they'll do, I suppose, in the Portuguese league. And it does come across that way because in 29 games the season before last, well, the season before this, 16 goals and 10 assists. So he's definitely bringing back the stats to match his attributes and doing even better than what I thought. What was the valuation that they bought him for? 17.25 million. Now he's worth 40 million. So if a bigger European club comes in, you can expect a 50-60 million pound. They're making a lot of money out of him despite taking a gamble and spending a lot of money to take him to Europe. Oh, I am very sad that Jean-Pierre never actually left Brazil, but maybe, hey, that's his choice. Maybe he never wanted to leave Brazil, but he does look like, should we say it again? He is a monster, isn't he? He's an absolute monster. A very good centre midfielder, an attacking midfielder. He could do a bit of it all, really, and he sort of strikes me as a jack of all trades, really, in the middle of the park. Physicals, impressive. Mental attributes, they'll do, like a lot of 14s there. And the technical abilities, like he can dribble, he can also hit a free kick, he can hit a long shot, and his passing's good. Like his tackling's even acceptable, really, if you're applying him further up the pitch. So I quite like him. He's only worth 16 million still, and I think that is because of the league he's playing in, reputation-wise. If this guy was in Europe, he'd be like a 40-50 million pound man. So I like him. As what he's, oh my Jesus, he's done a lot. He's done a lot in the Brazilian leagues. Like, he has consistently hit double figures since the start of this save, and only once he hasn't hit double figures in assists. So, basketball terms, a double-double. All of you non-basketball fans, that means he's hit like double figures twice. Could have just said that. Last but no means least is Caio Jorge, and I'm very sad that he's gone to China. Money grabber, you might say. £75,000. If he went to a European club, he could probably make that money with good development eventually. He hasn't developed what I have seen him develop into in other saves, only with a current ability of 137. And I do believe his potential ability was ranging like across 160, 170. I'm pretty sure that's how high they rate him in this game. So he's got a long way to go to reach his full potential. He's still only 22, so he could reach it fairly easily. £27 million he is worth now. What did they sign him for? 13 million? And he's hit double figures in goals for the last 3 seasons. So he's done well in the Chinese Super League for sure. His first season's the best as well. 29 games, 17 goals and 8 assists with 3 player of the matches. So he can do it in the Chinese league, but we don't want to see him in the Chinese league. We want to see him in a big European league, like what the past Brazilian Wonderkids have done. You know, with Ronaldo, where he went to PSV, then Barcelona, Real Madrid, AC Milan. Like, we want to see him at those big European clubs. But that's down to you, I guess. If you're managing a big European club, take a chance on Caio Jorge. Or if you're building a big European club, take a chance on this man. I'm sure he will not let you down. But that is it. That is the first 10 on this Wonderkids South American, based in South American list. If you want to see the other 10, please smash the like button, leave comments down below. They're not like worse ones like I mentioned earlier. It's a spread across the 2. If anything, I just cut him in half. Like, there's 10 more. They're just as good. If you want to see them, you need to let me know. And of course, if it's Let's Play action, you can find my channel at the end of the video or down in the description. I've got a lot going on there right now, and thank you very much for everyone who has previously come over and enjoyed their stay. And let me know, because a lot of you are actually really kind enough to say, hey, found your videos on FM Scout, came across to give you a chance, really like what I'm seeing. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that muchly. So thank you very much. Please subscribe to the FM Scout YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. I don't know why you wouldn't. We are constantly here bringing you hints and tips and players and everything like that during this lockdown period for all you new guys or people who have been around the block for a very long time. Drop a like on the video and I'll see you for the next one. Bye bye.